Howdy everyone, and welcome to the stream. Hope y'all are doing alright. Today we're going to be designing the world, which I need to mention. For those that have been here for the past couple of streams, I've talked about, I'm doing a 90-day jam where I'm trying to make a commercial game in 90 days. And I was still working on a platformer, but I wasn't enjoying the prototype. So, the music is amazing. So, what I'm going to do is, instead of making the platformer, I'm going to take the combat system from Zoe and the Cursed Dreamer, strip down all that complexity that I had going, and then make a sort of top-down Metroidvania out of it. Very, nothing too complex. Like I'm going to be removing all the RPG stuff, the pets, the party system, the stories, all that stuff, and we're just going to be working on a very quick Metroidvania. Will the 90 days start over? No, 90 days is still going. That's just because it's like sort of the jam. Like the prototyping is the process. Basically, what happened was I was making the platformer prototype and it just never settled with me. So changing again. I changed it a few times when I even started. It just got the further this time. But I wasn't making any progress that I was enjoying. So we're going to do this instead, which I'm looking forward to. This is what happens when you don't get solid design documentation 1/4 of the way through your time budget. You need to start over. Well, that's what the prototyping was. I just wasn't motivated to work on it quickly enough. I was doing very little things every day and just didn't make a lot of progress. And then I sort of like a week later, I was like, it was only a week, keep in mind, so it was only a week wasted. But I was like, I'm just, nah, I feel wasn't feeling it. So that's what we're doing here. So I'm excited for this because, one, for a couple things. Any work we make here can be put towards Zoe and the Cursed Dreamer. So I'm still making advancements on Zoe and the Cursed Dreamer because I can transfer the combat stuff that we work on over there. And I have some interesting ideas that we can do with this, which is what we're going to talk about today. We're going to be talking about world design. We're going to have to come up with a few level ideas, sort of like what we're going to see in the game. And one of the reasons I'm excited about this is because I think we can tie this into Zoe and the Cursed Dreamer. I'm thinking, if you've played the demo, spoiler alert for the demo, you should know about the Cursed Dreamer. The Cursed Dreamer is a demon god that was bound by his dreams, and those dreams were leaking out. And there's a story, like I've got the story planned out and everything, and it involves a group of mages that have bound him. Like there was a rebellion, a sort of fight, and we bound him. And I'm thinking we might could place this game as a sort of prequel to that, in that time period where he is being bound. Something very interesting to play with, I think. So this would be we could cover things like the origin of magic, all the group of mages. We could look into all that. So I'm excited for that. I have been drawing. Now this is going to be. I've been drawing some very. I was in the mood for drawing this kind of stuff today. I don't know that this will fit because this is if we go this route, then this will be a time period where the demon god ruled the world, and the world is in chaos. We could play as the villain. That's possible. That is quite possible. Anything's up for. I was going to do the player stream. I was going to do a stream where we make the player today, but until we get all that stuff hashed out, trees feeling confident there. I mean, I need to practice my trees. But this one's not too bad. I'm getting better. Nice frog, by the way. Thank you. We drew that in a last stream, I think it was. Yeah, this the I had a dream about a floating frog that it would inflate itself into a balloon. We could play as the main villain of Zoe at a time where he's not evil yet. That's potential. I wouldn't even say he's evil. Like if you play through the game, I don't want to spoil it, but I mean, assumedly, if you're here, you've probably played the demo. I wouldn't consider him evil though. He just has a different view of the events as they should happen. Yo, the tree is good. Thank you. I'm pretty happy with it. Needs some more tweaking, but not too bad. And I'm going to keep practicing more trees. But this is during a time where the world is in chaos. The demon god's ruling over the world. It's going to be in like disarray. You're probably not going to have these pretty trees. It's probably going to be some more of a corrupted type of thing, which is what I wanted to do with the Dream Realm. Alternative good. Yeah, there's probably a name for it in D&D. It's like chaotic something or another. Like he's not like lawful chaotic. I don't know. I just did a silly thing because I don't know what they are, but I'm sure there's one for it. Like he's not evil. He's just yeah. See, I won't quit there. Will the game have some side lores loosely hidden throughout the game? Quite possibly, yes. What time of game is this? I'm new. This is if you've watched the devlogs, then you know I'm making a sort of RPG, sort of a life simulator RPG. Like if Stardew Valley had world exploration and combat, or like interesting combat and world building and stuff like that, but not like about farming. And what we're doing here is taking that combat that I've worked on, the enemies and the weapon attacking and stuff like that. And I've got a prototype I worked on. I should show that. And we're taking that and we're placing it and we're building a quick little top-down Metroidvania-esque type of game. Like imagine Hollow Knight if it were top-down. Keeping in mind that I've only played about an hour of Hollow Knight. So, and most of that was me being bad at the game. So that's the idea. Let me just pull this up right quick. Chaotic good is the best alignment. That's probably what it would be. I wouldn't say good though. Like he's more concerned about himself. I know there's a thing about one of those things that you're more concerned about yourself, but like not in an evil way. Like I don't know. I don't know. He cares about the world. Like he doesn't want the demon god to escape, and he's like, we need to deal with the problem now, basically. And where everybody else has said we don't want to take that chance. So yes, let me run this right quick. He's chaotic neutral. There you go. So you can see we still got like I'm migrating code. I'm not just like cutting from the project. I build a new project and I'm bringing code over to it because there's a lot of complexities and stuff like that that's not necessary. So as you can see here, this is what we're doing. We're taking this and we're making a sort of top-down Metroidvania-esque game. And then we'll explore around different caves and stuff. And that will be like I'm really excited for the Metroidvania style world. Like it'll be one big dungeon with different interconnectivities and stuff like that. I'm thinking we'll have to see how that works out in the prototype. So that's the idea. And so today we're going to design the world for that. And one of the things I'm interested in is like we could have the overworld we probably won't spend a lot of time in. Like there will be some elements to it, but I'm thinking we'll spend a lot of it underground, maybe. And we'll have to. Can I tell you about a game idea I thought about for a dungeon roguelike? If you want to, sure. Can you export nodes in Godot and import them in other projects like you would with classes, JavaScript, and other type languages? Yes, you have to bring their dependency. I don't know about exporting. No, what I've been doing is sort of, if the pathing is correct, I've been copying things over, but I've also been stripping a lot of things out. Like let's see, there are a lot of things I just didn't need. I can't remember exactly what, but anyhow, we're going to get started with the world design. So, yeah. Now I think we'll start with the origin of magic. And as you know, like the magic's the purple color that we can have a non like start out the world without magic, and then an event happens that creates the magic. Do you have any ideas for the game's title yet? No, no. I've been thinking about it, but I want to get the world exactly what we're doing down first. I have ideas, but none of them are cemented. Anything could change. That's why I didn't even want to do the player yet, because one of the things we could explain is like maybe the animals become like we have the fancy animals like the Cthulhu mole, Timmy and Marty from the mining company, all this animal stuff like the snails and stuff like that, and maybe they're caused by the creation of magic. And so one thing we could potentially do is have you play as an animal. So maybe you'll start out as a typical animal. Magic happens. The Zone of Curse Streamer, that's not cursed yet. Yes, the Curse Streamer, he's not cursed yet. This is the starting of that. I'm thinking, could change. We're still laying all this stuff down. I would love if the antagonist is sort of relatable than just a one-dimensional character. That's the whole entire idea with him. If you can't relate with him already, I don't know what to tell you, because I think he's pretty relatable. Oh, let's see. So yeah. So we have to think about that. And I'm thinking one thing we could start out with would be like caves. We start out with caves. And then the magic happens and they become the magical caves. Like over like twing. Magic comes from nature. Magic, I can't get into that too much. I can't get into too much. I know what it is, and then spoilers. How about a title that explains the origin, like Jimmy and the Magic Mushrooms? I do think I want to do Andy. I think I want to keep going for that. Like anything that takes place in this world has the Andy into it. I think that would be funny. But Jimmy and the Magic Mushrooms could absolutely work. I'm gonna take some notes here. Magic Mushrooms is a good one. Because we did Marty and the Eldritch Horror, and that took place in this world, which I thought was just funny. And I was gonna do this. We talked about in the first stream. We talked about a mole, a magic mole with a staff or something that was gonna take place in the world. And we were gonna call it Stanley and the Cursed Stick or something like that. But because he had like a little staff that did a bunch of stuff, that was gonna be funny. A lot of stuff we can play around with that. So I had an idea about, instead of health, you had a timer that loses time, and when you get hit, you need to clear a room to get more time. That was the idea I thought of for what could be interesting. Let's see. Let me just make a stream notes card right quick. Here. All right. And this is 25. Let me add the so Jimmy and the Magic Mushrooms. By the way, howdy. A bad idea. Maybe land pufferfish. Seems random. If it's in Zone Land, you can reuse the same color palette to maintain design consistency. Maybe. I want to play around with new colors for now, though. I don't want to keep. I don't know. We can change them later, but I want to sort of work with more colors. I don't know. I feel like making more colors. Where in the U.S. are you located? In the East. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. Now. The main thing I want, though, because my goal for this weekend, I want to make a video, hopefully, this weekend, and I want to talk about this game, and I want to have art for it to look pretty. So that's what I'm going to be doing up until that point. If it's not this weekend, it might be the next. We'll have to see. So that's what I want to do. That's the reason I want to get this world stuff going. So that I can know what to draw this weekend. Hey there, G. Hey, howdy, Draco. Glad to see you here. You should make a Hollow Knight style area with bug enemies. it is. I think we are going to do this in the underground, like in the because when was working on Zona Curse Streamer, one of the things I wanted to do was an underground layer where we have like it's like the overworld but completely underground, and it's connected to different caves in the overworld, and then underground would have its own lore and stuff like that. And I'm thinking we could make that take place mostly here. We could sort of introduce that concept, and I think that would be a lot of fun. And so absolutely we could do some bug stuff. So I don't know what you would call that, but yeah, bugged in or something. If this is an adventure RPG style game, start stealing cards from the Zotrilla that were a stretch anyway. You probably have lots of ideas there waiting for use. This game is going to be quite a bit different. It's going to be very much stripped down to scope wise. There's not going to be like RPG elements probably. There's going to be different weapons. You'll be able to switch weapons like that, but it's not, maybe not have different classes and stuff. I'm only expecting about 6 to 8 hours of gameplay probably. You know, it's going to be a quick game, get in, get out, like get some story. I would like to make it longer. And we'll have to see how much we do with that. Like, one thing I'm thinking maybe, because I said I wanted to make a commercial game in 90 days, I could just do the demo like I saw a lot of the other people are doing, and then continue working on this for a year. And like by next year, I want to have this game done, at least. That's the longest that we're going to do this. I'm going to try to get it done quicker than that. I would like to, we'll see. Can't wait for the game though. I can tell it's going to be amazing. I think it's going to be interesting. Proc Gen Dungeon, that's something I'm considering. Proc Gen. I'm not leaning heavily towards it, but that is quite certainly a possibility. I'm going to build the mechanics first, and then we'll worry about that. So, pre-magic cave. So one of the things I've been thinking of is to have just a standard cave, and then once the origin of magic happens, you know, blink, and you've got all this purple stuff everywhere. And I'm thinking that could be what sets off the story for this. We've worked some way into it. I have to still work out some things, but that could be interesting. So we play as an animal who got corrupted by some sort of magic. That is one possibility that I'm playing through. Like, you're an animal that wakes up and like, what? Why am I able to walk on my hind legs? And maybe you know, like Marty and Timmy and all that kind of stuff. One idea. I don't know if we're going to do that yet. Mushroom an enemy that creates an AoE attack. Yeah, we need an enemy concept. And this will be like the origin of the mushroom enemies and stuff like that. It could be a lot of fun. It might be fighting. It could make this entire thing mushroom themed. Because maybe when the magic happens and just all of a sudden the world is filled with magic, it could maybe have it could have overcompensated or like overcreated or whatever. And so there could be too much. And then over time it gets whittled down. So maybe that could be an interesting thing to play around with. So mushroom enemy with AoE damage. Maybe some kind of spores attack or something. I don't want to get into enemy stuff right now. We might do some enemy stuff for later. Because I mostly want to just figure out what I'm working on this week. Because I'm probably going to be doing a lot of art, which I might stream on Discord for those interested. If we go that way, let's see. If we go that way, you could be cool to play as Truffle's descendant. This is pre-Zona Curse Streamer. This is a prequel to a game that doesn't exist yet. So Truffles would probably doesn't even exist at this point. This will be like 20 years before Zona Curse Streamer, 20-ish years. Mushroom Forest area, yes. So that's like I'm thinking once magic happens, there'll be like just mushrooms everywhere. So what would we call that? Like just, I'm gonna make a note for it up here. So once magic occurs, there's an overabundance of mushrooms and crystals, because crystals are a part of it. It's something I've played around with, not something I've dug into deeply, so it could be crystals as well. Mushrooms feed on magic, so places with more magic in the area have more. Could we do an interesting like that? Could do something like that. Mushrooms feed on magic, so more magical areas could have more mushrooms. Interesting idea. No, I mean his ancestry. Sorry, I confused myself. Okay, gotcha. We play as Truffles' grandfather. Sure. I don't know. Like this is something we can consider. We could play as Truffle's grandfather, and maybe like he starts out as a pig that can walk around and everything, but like him like breeding with normal pigs sort of brings Truffle back down to a normal pig. It could be interesting. We're just coming up with ideas. That's pretty much it. Wouldn't that make the original game a sequel, though, if the prequel comes out first? I'm going to call it a prequel, and anybody can fight me over it. So, my thinking is that Zona Cursor is the main game. This Zona Cursor story came first. Development started first. Everything is first. It's just, this is going to be sort of a preparation for it. Like, for those that know the Zo lore, this will be a fun little thing. Magic mushroom. There you go. Shrines. Shrines could be interesting. Imagine you just woke up as an animal, like a far more intelligent than you previously were, and then you start making shrines to whatever god made you smarter. That could be interesting. So, new animals create shrines and religions for their awakening. They call it the awakening. Funny. If we don't play as an animal, at least make an NPC that's Truffle's ancestor. Yes, that could be an access. Absolutely. Or at least meet their ancestor. That could be interesting. Draco, he's taking ideas. Yeah. Gee, don't let his games be defined by others. This is how a lot of my design works, Draco. We do this in all my streams pretty much. We'll go back and forth and then we'll draw something. And that doesn't mean I'm going to use all of these. This is just taking notes and getting ideas. Usually I'll use these as inspiration. If there's an animal NPC, it should 100% be for certain squirrel. We have to do the squirrel origins as well. Origin of the squirrels. I was going to say derp squirrel, but squirrels probably don't live that long. What is the average squirrel life? Or maybe derp squirrel is immortal. Oh, magic made derp squirrel immortal. Sure, why not? G, first time interrupted by his phone on stream? Yeah. I'm surprised. I get a lot of spam calls. I don't know why. Like, nobody calls me but spam callers. And it's useless. Derp squirrel backstory. We could absolutely get into the derp squirrel backstory. Oh, that would be... Could you imagine seeing the rise of derp squirrel? Witness the rise of derp squirrel. That's great. All currencies available on that game. What currencies are we talking about? I personally would place it long before Zo. Magic could be established in a few generations old by Zo, so everyone is used to it. I still have to hash out the details. I've planned this out. Like, one of the things I have potentially to do, I could make this into a trilogy using 2 small games and a main game. And so I've already planned this out in the main game. These were sort of mentioned things like previous back lore. And I'm just adding this into the game. And I haven't completely thought it through, and I haven't settled everything down into stone, but it sort of fits in with that time. We'll say that. Could we have a squirrel that's allergic to nuts? I don't know why you would, but sure. We can add a note for that, and I don't know how you would explain it. That seems really random. 2 nuts. And I don't know what point that would serve, but we'll take a note of it. I mean, there are going to be shops and money. Or are they? Possibly. This is going to be a quick game, though. It's not going to be like a full-on RPG or anything like that. The main thing about this is going to focus on combat. I've told you before, young old man gets his food stuff. Oh, no, we have to do a young Rupert. Young Rupert. And why... Let's not say why, because I don't think that would fit, maybe. Young Rupert and backstory with squirrels. We'll see about that one. Because we'll see. But what was I thinking? What was I? Oh, as far as like shops and stuff go, possibly. I don't want to. I want to strip down a lot of the complexity though. This game is actually going to mostly focus on combat. So one thing that I've stressed over and over again is that Zoe and the Cursed Dreamer is not about the combat. The combat's fun, but the game's more about the RPG stuff. Not true with this one. This one I'm going to focus on the combat. Combat's going to be the main part of the gameplay. The bosses, fun stuff like that. It's going to be exploration, like constant through. There's not going to be a town that you explore. It's going to be like, I mean, there might be like some stuff. Because keep in mind the snails are down there, and they just came and popped into existence. And maybe you could see the origins of the snail merchants, and that could be your shop. Like you just see these little snail people walking around, and you can trade with them. But we're not going to like there's not going to be a town. We're cutting a lot of complexity out. Rupert be a druid, and maybe Rupert, he doesn't look any younger. He's just really, really old, so he still looks old 20 years ago. Can we have a character that turns up in different areas and makes puns depending on where you are? Could do that. Keep in mind, we could. Mad Catter's going to be a thing. Oh, he'll be in this as well. Probably. If not, then he'll be referenced. You inadvertently create the felt that made the hat. What are we talking about? I was thinking of are you talking about the scarecrow? The Carecrow. We could play around with that. I just played the demo and oh my god, the game is fire. Well, thank you. Glad to hear it. Hopefully you'll like this as well, because this will be done a lot quicker. This is the whole point of this one. So I'm excited for this one. Get this out and get people playing out and get this stuff, and then use that to push Zoe and the Cursed Dreamer forward. Okay, got you. Let's see. What could we do with that? I'm trying to think of an interesting way to do that, because I still want the hat. Like, you remember he gets it from the snowman. For those that are not familiar, I'm gonna pull that up, because there's probably not gonna be people familiar with that, what we're talking about here. And I still want it to be a big secret, because it's supposed to be a really big secret Easter egg for streamers only. That not characters, it would be pets. So we have the Carecrow here, and the thing is that he got his hat from a snowman, and this is how you meet him. Like, so you meet him like, and the idea, and like it's supposed to be a secret, like And I don't want it to reveal that, because I do want it to be like just a funny little secret for streamers and anybody that's smart enough to figure it out. Because I think it's kind of obvious what happened here. If we go for the animal idea, the starting point could be a place where multiple animals are chilling, and you choose the one who gets corrupted. I think a whole bunch of them are going to get corrupted. I'm not sure what you mean, though. I forgot about this monkey. Okay. Anyhow. Worldwide. Yeah, these are meant to be stream notes. Whoops. I'm going to make a new checklist. And I'll copy them over. These are meant to be areas, excuse me. And I put it as these stream notes. So we're going to bring all these down and I'll copy them over later. Because I want this to be just areas that I'm going to sort of focus on. I don't know which one I'm going to draw first, though. Let me see. Yo, that bunny looks like a player character, and like he has a Mad Catter style. Did you just now seeing the little bunny? Yeah. We drew that in one of the pet strings, one of these. And he's I don't remember his story much. I have to go back and look to it, but he's pretty funny. He's got a lot of attitude. I think a mechanic could be the weapon used can deflect projectiles. Could be. Let me go back over here. And that's a lot. I'm gonna be working a little bit on gameplay stuff too. Main focus is art, but I still want to get on some gameplay stuff. So absolutely could attacks could reflect projectiles. Now I'm not going to get too over the top with combat, because I still don't like complex combat systems, but we are going to focus more on it than I would have with Zoe and the Cursed Dreamer. Because with Zoe and the Cursed Dreamer, I was pretty much done with combat. Combat was what it was, and that was anything. And that was it. Like, I was just like, I'm happy with the combat for now. But for this, we can expand. I was going to do more abilities and stuff, but more weapons and stuff like that. And there was an enchanting system I didn't get around to making, but for the most part, the combat was done. But I want to keep working on it with this and have the game be about the combat, because this is a lot of fun. That was from what I gathered, that was people's most favorite thing about the game. And it'll be nice to not have to worry about all that RPG stuff that I was working on, and just sort of focus on the combat. Interesting Mad Catter backstory, possibly. That is, yes. I ain't gonna say too much about it. Is there anything to force Struck to draw? Not yet. We haven't started drawing yet. We're probably about to here in a little bit. I'm just trying to get ideas for what I want to draw. I'm trying to think. Mad Catter is ageless. Can we please have a Mad Catter as a kitten? Oh, he's not ageless though, but because he does have an origin story, which we'll get into at some point. I think that's planned for Zoe and the Curse Dreamer. Maybe for the other thing that I was going to do. We'll see. But no, not at the kitten. One thing for the combat, I think spam clicking should not be the best way to attack. I don't like holding and clicking. Holding to attack, if that's what you're referring to. Do you plan to have different types of weapons be a thing? Yeah, that's what I'm thinking of, yes. One of the main things I do want to focus on is the different weapon types. That was what I was going to do with the platformer game. But I was going to have a bunch of different weapon types. And I still want to do that, and the way the loot's going to work differently as well. With this, I'm thinking, like previously I would, though in a Christian, I'd have you walk up to a chest, open it, and you'd move all the items. And I'm thinking when you click a chest, it just throws out everything. So like coins, like it's going to be more arcade-ish than Zone of Curse Streamer. So like it's just going to throw out coins and a weapon, maybe, that kind of thing. Have you added everything for level design? No, I've as far as this goes, I've only been migrating code over. I haven't done anything new for it, I don't think. And so I've just been moving code over, and I haven't done anything for level design. So this is only about a day of just moving stuff over. So very early on. Because I was working on a different game and it just wasn't feeling it. So we're doing this. Yeah. G, are you working on your 90 days game or Zone of Curse Streamer? A bit of both. I'm changing. I'm not doing the platform. I'm doing a different thing, but I'm using Zone of Curse Streamer's combat, and it will probably take place in Zone of Curse Streamer's world. 20 years prior to the Zone of Curse Streamer. Maybe your magic power is increased by defeating enemies adrenaline style. Yeah, that's like it is in Zone of Curse Streamer. We're going to do it that way. We should play as a shroom who gets corrupted by magic instead of an animal. Could do that. I'm not saying we will play as an animal. I'm saying that's one of the reasons I didn't want to do... I was going to do player design today, but one of the reasons I didn't is because I don't know what the player is going to be yet. So could play as a corrupted mushroom. That's an interesting idea that could open up some really cool story stuff. Could be interesting story-wise. That could be really cool. We could play with a lot of that. Like imagine... And we could have different characters, possibly. Imagine, like, what is that game? It's one of those roguelikes. It's really famous. Vlambeer made them. Oh, it's on the tip of my tongue. Nuclear Throne. Could, like, they have different characters and stuff. Could do something like that. You should do something futuristic instead of magic. Well, no. We're doing this. Nice looking scarecrow. Thank you. It's a scarecrow. Maybe the mushroom character is supposed to be evil but gains free will, or maybe the mushroom character is evil and doesn't realize it. That could be interesting. Maybe it's a co-op thing. You play different PCs to help each other. Could do that. I'm thinking if we do it for 90 Day Jam, I'm considering doing local multiplayer with this. I don't want to get too since I don't have to do cutscenes and all the other RPG stuff that's going to be going with this. We don't have to worry about that as much. A cat mushroom, no. We could absolutely do, easily do like a local multiplayer thing. I would like to do that. And it's something I'm building for. It's in the code that I could probably easily do it And this would be the perfect game for it. Whereas Zone of Curse Streamers was intended to be a single player game. This could easily fit into like a multiplayer game, which could be a lot of fun. Oh, I'm making no progress though. Areas. And one of the things I wanted to define is what is unique about these areas. But I'm very excited for this project. Very excited for it goes. For one, it's because it's in the Zone of Curse Streamer world, which is the world that I've been developing for a while now. Traps, like, yes, we need traps as well. I think I had no, I didn't. Hazards. One of the things I do want to focus on is traps. Since I don't have to do pets, I'm not going to do pets. I'm not going to do party members. I don't have to worry about dealing with the AI and hazards. Like, it's just you, and if the enemy falls into a trap, then great. It doesn't matter. So I don't have to worry about that annoying little thing. So for sure we could do some hazards like thorn bushes, spikes, wooden spikes, like maybe traps. Now, one of the things I do want to do, I wanted to try to look into some man-made structures, like environments, especially if we go the animal or magic mushroom route. Imagine stumbling on like a mine or something, or a mine, or some kind of like sacred temple that's booby-trapped. Booby-trapped temple. Could do something interesting like that. You're the magical corruption, and you corrupt animals and or plants in Mario Odyssey fashion, but you're just a bunch of magic going into people. That sounds like a lot of, like, I'm not trying to make any complex mechanics here. This is mostly just a combat thing. I did not read that as pit it as traps. What are we talking about? Quicksand? Not likely, no. Banana peel. We could do some kind of slime thing. Like a slippery slime. Maybe, maybe when the magic happened, the corrupted magic happened, it created a bunch of slugs that leave their slime everywhere. So you see like trails of slime. Maybe. Let me put this here. What if for the temple there was a cracked floor tile that collapsed into a room filled with enemies? If you step on it. I could play around with some floor falling through. Don't know what to. I'm going to put down fall through floor into lower levels. I don't know to what degree I want to do that. I don't want it to just be a thing that you. I don't know. We'll see. But I would like to do that. Yes, just sort of that concept. I don't know how I want to implement it. Isn't there a snail merchant? Yes, there is a snail merchant, which is what we was talking about earlier. So here, there's a whole snail race that we can encounter underground. I'm not going to do a lot of NPCs. I'm not going to do a lot of cutscene work. That's one of the big things that's going to save me a lot of time is not doing a lot of fancy cutscenes and not having them move around. So I'll be able to save on animation and stuff like that. But I do want you to be able to interact with stuff. Diablo-style spikes that pop out of the ground. Yes, we could do that. I would like to actually do a lot of this hazard stuff because we could make that part of the game. Like, everything is like heavily trapped. Like, whereas it would be difficult with Zone of Curse Streamer because of like the pets and the way that everything worked, it not being so much combat based, we could absolutely have a lot of fun with this. So floor spikes, retractable variant, toxic slime trap. New game is inspired by Zone of Curse Streamer. The new game is 20 years prior to Zone of Curse Streamer. It's in the same world, same story. It's going to be like a prequel setup to it. Prequel to the game that doesn't exist yet. That's what I'm gonna call it. You can fight me over it. The snails leave slime. Yeah, that was what we was talking about earlier. Here, one of these. Yeah, giant slugs. They could. Oh, not the snail people. These are more like. I'm thinking of something different. Like this could be like slimes, or slugs, or anything like that. It's not the same as the snail people. So yeah. Okay. Now, that's a good idea. Not for this game, but for Zone Curse Streamer. It's not much you can leave a slime trail that you could. Oh, okay, I got you. With them walking on two legs, it seems weird for them to have slime trails. Could be interesting. Trap idea: a bush that is spiky and you get stuck to it. 20 bush. What about, and one of the things I have to consider is like sort of like, since we're doing this as sort of a Metroidvania-esque type exploration, we could have, it would be more like a, Zelda's kind of Metroidvania-esque when you think about it, but the dungeons are scattered. This is going to be one, this idea sounds familiar. I think I talked about this like a year or two ago, of having like one big dungeon is what we're doing here. We're doing like a Zelda game, but not so puzzly, and it's one big dungeon. It's mostly focused on the combat. It's a good way to put that. Yeah. So, one of the things that we could do is have thorn bushes that cause great damage, but you can get a tool to remove them. I was thinking more like fire, but hedge clipper items would also be funny. But we'll see how that goes. Zombies, not likely. I don't like zombies, and zombies aren't a thing in Zone of Curse Streamer. Like Skellies is a thing, and and I've made intentional things to not use zombies because I don't really interested in using them. Maybe there's a tile that looks off like an actual trap, but then and you try to avoid it, but go on and they get you a buff. That's bad design. I was honestly thinking about hitch clippers for the bush. I think that would be a funny item. I do want this to be like with Zone of Curse Streamer. I wanted to strike a mix between like some funny moments and then, but the game was very serious. With this one, it doesn't have to be the case. Like with this one, we can absolutely just be a comedy game, and I'm fine with that. There's a truffle. There's a type of truffle that's called burgundy. What is it? I don't know anything about truffles. What is the use of that fact, though, William? Is there a point? No. Let's see. Would be realistic, but Dirt Squad is far too powerful to be a simulation guide. That would punish your players for learning how the game world works. Are we talking about the trap thing? The trap thing, I do like the idea of buffs. Is there something we could do with that? I don't want to do floor tiles. That could be mistakes as traps. But is there something we could have? Because with this being, like, this is going to be a very fast-paced game. There's not going to be, probably not going to be any potion items. Items in general is probably going to be restricted for weapons and stuff. There's not going to be like a whole bunch of different items. So we have to think about healing as well in that regard. Bats as enemies. I typically try to avoid very generic enemies. I usually try to make very interesting enemies. Speed buff could be like running shoes. I was thinking more like temporary buffs. But running shoes could be a thing. One of the things I'm wanting to do is have the items that you get, like have sort of inspired by Binding of Isaac in a way, in that you can get items that don't affect the game's progress, but it could like change your character. Like it's sort of like, imagine a roguelike in that regard, except it's not procedurally generated. At least not the world. The items could be. And so maybe like if you defeat a boss, you get a random item, and that could give you different abilities that don't affect the the puzzles and stuff. Like it doesn't, it's not required for that, but it changes your ability in some way. A pumpkin that explodes and gives huge knockback. Well, we would need a purpose for the pumpkin. Just having a pumpkin is random. Maybe the shoes wear out quickly. Yeah, so like, what I want to do, I'm going to make a card for, we're going to call them buff items. And these items, like, they don't have to necessarily be buffs. They could be debuffs as well. So maybe there's like a double-edged sword type thing. You get a buff and you get a debuff as well. And when you're thinking about this, I'm thinking about, I'm not a big Binding of Isaac player, but that's sort of what I'm thinking about, is you get these items that sort of change your character in a way and how they perform. So we could get like running shoes that speed up your character. Now with these could be loot from bosses or chests. Procedural, and this will be one of the ways we could add in like procedural content to the game. Maybe we'll have to see how that goes. Maybe you are the pumpkin. You know what? That's not a bad idea. There's a Animal Crossing character that's a pumpkin that's really cute. This guy. We could take some inspiration from that. What I'm gonna do? You could play as pumpkin character. Demon's not too creepy. Well, it wouldn't go with the lore wise. Because we've got the cursed trimmer, he is a demon god, and so I want him to be like the demon. What if there's a Skelly wearing a pumpkin and takes it off and throws it, or just throws it? Now, Skelly's an interesting idea, because the main thing with Skellies was that they was part of the Necromancer's army. So we might not have Skellies in this game. Like, I mean, we could have some, but like that's not the big thing here. Because with Zona Curse Streamer and Skellies were going to be a big thing. How about a bumper shroom that when you are in it, or an enemy comes into contact with it, will knock you back? I get what you're saying. That could be fun. I like that, actually. That's a clever... See, that's the kind of enemy design I like. So, mushroom enemy. That's a bumper, like in pinball. It's a fun idea. No magic, no skellies. Magic just happened. So we could still have magic, but like it's not going to be at the very start of the game. It'll happen during the game at some point. In fact, we could even focus on it. Like maybe you... Oh, we'll see. Howdy, Benja. But we could play around with that. Like magic just came into the world. Maybe you're super good at it. That's an idea. I don't know that we'll go for it. I think I want to leave this open for the player to play how they want. But that's absolutely a thing we could do. Magic just popped to existence, and you could be very adept at it. Maybe. Yeah, some sort of healing would be good. Maybe go with something like Hollow Knight, where the more damage you deal, the more you can deal. Yeah, we're going to use that adrenaline system from Zona Curse Streamer, which is pretty much like Hollow Knight. As long as there's double jump, I'll be happy. This is not a platformer. We're not doing the platform anymore, Jacob. This is basically going to be like Zona Curse Streamer if the combat was the only thing that it had. So we're going to do this as an exploration game. Got rid of the platformer because I wouldn't fill in it. And then we'll go around and we'll explore some stuff. Probably speed that character up. So yeah, no jumping. We don't have to worry about that. One of the things that just the platformer logic was meh. It's tricky. So yes, but what I need... We're getting a lot of ideas though, which is really good. But I need areas. What kind of areas do we want? Because that was the purpose of the stream. I really just need like one area, to be honest, to do for the next video. Because this is where I want to talk about it. And I want to do something interesting and eye-catching. I think we'll just do like a the mushroom forest. I think that could be an idea, a really good idea. Like have this have just be an overabundance of mushrooms and mushroom enemies. I think mushroom enemies is going to be the main thing for this game. I'm probably going to have a lot of that. Depending on how I want to do it story-wise, I still have to plan on that, all that stuff. Yeah. Okay. So yeah, I think we're gonna do mushroom stuff because mushrooms is fun. I'll do that one before the stream. There gonna be an area of forest full of spiders and webs. Oh yes. What did I say? I hate spiders. There can also be ruins in the forest. Yes. There was something I seen that was really cool. Had ruin stuff. But yeah, spider mushroom forest could be cool. Because you know, in games sometimes you'll have like a spider woods, like a forest that is infested by spiders. We could have this, but with mushrooms. I think that, but in a mushroom forest. I think that could be really interesting. Mushrooms, but with stick legs. I don't see the purpose of that though. You're rediscovering magic that was long lost and forgotten. No, magic just popped into an existence in a world that previously did not exist. Learn something new in the process. There's magic. Learn something new in the process, unless you already know. I know. Okay. Oh, is the frog still going to be there? You can use IK for spiders. Oh, IK. I don't want to get into IK. Maybe, but like I don't want to. IK can be a hassle. But yes, the frog is going to be there. We're going to have the frog. My Discord has been telling me that if I don't include the frog, that they're going to riot. So we're going to have the frog in the game. And honestly, it might be easier to do in here than it would be for the platformer, because with here I could just have him meander about and then have him float up and down, and then when you hit it, maybe he speeds off into a direction or something. You won't be able to bounce on him, but still. Deep Nest was the scariest thing. Is that Hollow Knight? I think that's Hollow Knight, right? Riot. Yeah, I didn't want to have them rioting on me. I wanted to take a note though. Must have forgotten. Oh wait. I think it was Draco. I did that note. Okay. Oh, and ruins. Yes. Sort of like the temple idea. Ruin / temple, something like that. His eyes need to pop when you hit it. Yes, absolutely. I don't know why I never thought of that. So frog, when hit, his eyes expand. Floating frog is the first sign that something is changing. Oh, that could be cool. Yes, floating. Whoops. Frogs should be like those old Legend of Zelda bomb plants. That's an interesting idea. Frogs could be the first sign of magic. Maybe that's an idea. Like it doesn't. It's just not just an immediate thing, but things just gradually start changing and being weird. That could be interesting. Because I don't want to start the game out without magic. Like when you start the game out, it's just there is no magic in the world, and maybe gradually weird things start happening. I think that could be interesting. Oops. Yeah, I think it's a very cool idea. A very good way to approach that. Reflection Valley. I don't know what that would mean, but it sounds cool. Well, thanks for coming up with random words. Oh, right, and the frogs could be bombs. Frogs could be like bombs. Bomb plants. Interesting idea. Frog bomb spell. I'm not going to get too, I don't know what I want to do with spells. I don't want to get too dragged down by that, I don't think. Maybe we'll see. What about a friendly-looking red mushroom with white spots is actually evil because the stereotypical red and white mushrooms are deadly poisonous in real life? That's an interesting idea. Red and white mushroom that pretends to be nice, but is actually evil. This is a play on how mushrooms are actually deadly. I had a good idea. No problem, always here to talk about fighting moles. Do you mean like a salt flat? What are we talking about? Weird things start happening, frogs start blowing up, mushrooms start glowing, and squirrels start making fun of the player. We absolutely have to have squirrels make fun of the player. So squirrels start making fun of the player. Could you imagine if you lose all your health, the squirrels come out and laugh at you? Like maybe when you first encounter the world and the squirrels, they ignore you. But as the game progresses, they start following you around. Could be interesting. Okay. So yeah, with the I think I'm going to do the mushroom forest. Let me go ahead and make a card for this. This is what I'm going to do for the video next. So what I'm going to have is a bunch of mushrooms, some spore particles, probably have some what is that called? Moss. Jeez. A man-eating plant. Probably have some of that. I'm probably going to do a lot with enemy plants. Probably have some spitters and some clampers and some vining whippers, maybe. Jimmy and the magic mushrooms. Is that really is this a really obvious metaphor? Are you talking about like drug mushrooms? No, I'm not that type of person. Not my thing. How about a mushroom that throws its top at you like a frisbee? We already have that. I meant it as a joke, but GE is too pure and didn't get it. You should know that by now. That is one of my biggest shortcomings. We already have this guy right here, though. He throws his hat like that. Do we have... Oops. Yes. Whenever he throws his hat, he's got a little kid under him. Or we had it like this, where he has another hat under his hat. All ideas. But yes, I'm too pure. we just know the title needs the and the in it. That is correct. The title has to have the and the in it. And the, excuse me. What do we have here? We have a lot of things here. Name and the noun. That is correct. Hello, what do you make today? Today we're going through some design stuff. World design stuff that I'm going to be using in the coming weeks, working on art and stuff like that. So we're just generating a bunch of ideas pretty much. I was expected to do some drawing today, but I haven't gotten around to it. I might do some drawing in a little bit, but we'll see. A mushroom that uses its cap as a shield and charges you. Oh, that is a good idea. Like a mushroom warrior. Because we're going to be like bringing in mushroom stuff. Probably going to be mushrooms are probably going to be the skellies of this game. So a mushroom knight with a mushroom cap as its shield. That is a very cool idea. I like that. Demo is releasing in 7 minutes. Good luck. There you go. Cecil and the Crystal Cavern. I think I would go with Crystal Cavern. Cecil. And also, we also don't have to put a bunch of matching letters in it. Cecil and the Crystal Caverns. Probably not Cecil, which is a placeholder. Could do that. We'll have to see once we get the world going more. Plant enemies like vines or roots from the ground. Could do that, yes. We're going to have different types of plant enemies. One of the ideas is to could have like a vines that whip at you or something like that. You should definitely see if you can play around with different types of mushrooms, because there are many mushrooms looking all kinds of weird and different. Absolutely. There's a lot of different types. And plus just fantasy mushrooms in general. I'm a big fan. One of the reasons I wanted to do the mushroom forest stuff, like in the Zone of Cursed Dreamer, is I love fantasy mushroom stuff. Absolutely my favorite. Like the like Black Reach in Skyrim is a very beautiful place. So we're going to have a lot of fun with this. If we have plant enemies, then can we have exploding pumpkins? It has to make sense. It can't just have exploding pumpkins. Whenever I make an enemy, I always have it rooted in something. There has to be something about what it does that has to make sense. And exploding pumpkins is just random. Why would anybody care about it? Just a randomly exploding pumpkin. But as you can see, with the enemy ideas that I had, like the mushroom that throws his hat like a frisbee, you can understand that because his hat looks like a frisbee, you know. The skelly that has a skull. That's cool, right? Like, he wears his own skull. It's a ghost that wears his own skull. I like the idea. And the Mushroom Knight was a really cool idea. The reason the Mushroom Knight is because you can understand how the cap would be a shield. Just an exploding pumpkin just doesn't ring anything for me. Exploding flying pufferfish, same thing. Doesn't ring anything. Vine trap, that when you walk into it, the vines tether to you and try to drag you back. Now, the trouble with that would be the animation. You'd have to get it in such a way that it could follow you. And keep in mind, I'm going to be doing pixel art here, so that might not look the prettiest. Mushrooms are rooted. Not these mushrooms can walk around. The magic ones, anyhow. The magic mushrooms. Hold on. The mushroom magica and the crystal king. There you go. No. The first thing needs to be a character, probably. It needs to be a character of importance. We'll figure out the name later. The name's not important. I don't even need it for the next video, so I'm not too concerned. I do want to plan this out though. So what do I want to do here? I'm probably gonna have, of course, some rocks, of course. Rocks and a plant grassy texture. Mushrooms that shoot spores from a distance. Could one of the we had an enemy here. Yeah, we had to do a spore attack, but I'm thinking like could do a spore bomb type of thing that shoots a spore. It doesn't make that much sense though. I still want to figure that out. If there's another way we could do that. But that could be an interesting thing. Toxic or hallucinogenic mushrooms, not the hallucinogenic ones. I'm too pure and innocent to be making hallucinogenic mushrooms. Gotta go, friends. Late night class. Take it easy, Draco. Thank you for popping by the stream. Make the cap and the body separate individual, and if one got taken out, the other goes berserk. You saw him at the cap throwing one. Well, the cap throwing one, we was gonna have the kid run off, I think, or something like that. You know what I'm going to do? I think we've done enough planning for now. I'm keep thinking about that Mushroom Knight. And I think we're going to draw that now. So, because I really like that idea. And I think that could even be a boss, actually. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to bring in the player right quick for reference. Because the player that we get in this game is probably going to be about the same size as the player in Zone of Cursed Dreamer. So I'm thinking maybe we'll do a Mushroom Knight as the boss. That could be interesting. At least a bigger version of an enemy. Like we could do it as an enemy as well, but like, yeah. There could be an enemy that somehow leeches off other enemies, since that's how fungi works. Oh, could you? A giant ant that has been infected by that one enemy. Yeah, I think that's a really cool idea. Or just like enemy that is covered in fungus. What if not ant but spider? Well, I'm referencing a real life thing. There's a mushroom that infects a plant than an ant. I don't think it does it. A spider does it. I must know about the. I don't want to show dead ants actually, but yeah. Anyhow, there's a actual fungus thing that grows, that gets on an ant, and buries its way into like its head or something like that, and causes it to climb up a stalk and then grow out and then spread out to the other ants or whatever. And we're thinking with this one, it'll turn the ant into an enemy, which I think is a cool idea. Oh, and there's a Discord thing. So yeah, I think we're gonna draw now though. I think we have enough that I should have enough to go to work on for a while. It's called cordyceps. There you go. So yeah, a mushroom knight. I think it's a really cool idea. Is there any other mushroom ideas we can incorporate to this? We know we're gonna have the shield. What is this? That's the player. Like a new one. Mushroom mage that makes a couple decoy mushroom mages that look different from the actual mage. The decoy mushroom mages vanish and stun the player for couple seconds when hit. Maybe. I've never been too keen on that type of enemy. But a mushroom mage could absolutely be cool. That was an idea I had before in the Zona Curse streamer. Was like a mage type character that had this big floppy hat, like the mushroom hat was a thing. Like, I don't know, it's hard to imagine. But like, I don't know, I have to pull it up. I think I had some image inspirations for it. But mushroom mage could absolutely be a cool idea. I just don't like the whole fake characters type things. An inky cap mushroom could spread black ink on the ground and make clones or have a radius of poison for a bit. Do mushrooms do inky black thing, or is that random? Alright, so but I'm going to do the knight right now. How big do I want him to be? I want him to be about... He's going to be a boss character. I think it's going to be about that big. Probably going to have a good bit of bosses in this game. This will be fun. Let me pull up the Knight image references. You can take some inspiration off Hollow Knight because it has some inky cap. That's their name. Oh, hey, I'll have to take a look. Okay. This is going to be an interesting enemy idea, I think. I think I want to do a big and bulky one, though. this guy. Now, I don't know a lot of armor styles, so I'm going to be winging this exactly. We can always tweak it later. Oh, look at this guy. He looks pretty cool. I like that helmet. Kind of. Might be the kind of helmet we go with. Super big and squared and intimidating. Oh, look at this. Could imagine like a mage knight looking something like that. Could be cool. Alright, I think that's enough. What tool is that? That is Quick Ref, I think. Pure Ref, excuse me. Fantastic tool. Absolutely must have. Alright. Now, one of the things I'm thinking of with with this game is since I don't have to do all the characters that I'm going to be doing, like there's not going to be a lot of characters in this game. One of the things that I can do is do a front and back animation. So I have an animation that's like this way, animation that's that way, the 3/4 turn like I've been doing, and then that way. And I think that would look a lot better since I don't have to do everybody like that. So for like NPCs that you encounter or something like that, I could just do front animations. But for the player and maybe some enemies, they can get the full treatment. Maybe we'll have to see how that goes. But I would like to do that. Something I wanted to do with Zona Curse Streamer, but it's just been too much work. Make his armor out of scavenged, rotting wood. We could. I'm thinking I'm going to make a note for that. Maybe that's the lesser enemy. I want this guy to be like full on intimidating though. Lesser knight. Could use scavenged wood as armor. That's a cool idea. But for this guy, I think I want to go full on just Dark Knight. Menacing looking. Let's see. Now the silhouette's going to be tricky. Don't know exactly how I want to do it. Bring his feet down a bit. Oops. How about a fish that shoots bubbles, and maybe there's an area where there's like shallow water and you can go through that. Some fish enemies can be in. I would like to do some water areas, yes, that you can run across. One of the things with since this is going to be probably primarily underground, we don't have to have water as a barrier. We could have some. Well, I was going to do it with Zona Curse Streamer, never got around to it. We could have some shallow water that you can run across as well. Because I had it in like the first devlogger too. So let's see, we could have shallow water with fish enemies. They could pop out. Could be a lot of fun. Swamps? Maybe. Swamps are very generic in games. Could you imagine an underwater swamp though? Ooh. That's an interesting idea. No, I'm not underwater. Underground swamps. Interesting idea. Or swamp-like. Swamp-esque. Spiders that make you dizzy. You talking about like messing with the graphics? I don't like doing that. It's hard for people with motion sickness. Like, for me, like, the nausea effect in Minecraft is just the worst, and I absolutely hate it. Like, you don't experience it much in the vanilla game, but some mods will, and it's just the worst. Okay, so we need to work on the silhouette. kind of trying to think about what's going to make his silhouette interesting. What makes him stand out? I think we'll have the shield here. I'm thinking when he's idle, maybe we keep it on his back, and then he could pull it out when the battle starts or something. Oh, glowworms. Glowworms. Oh, man. Could you imagine glowworms that, like, giant glowworms? Could be interesting. Like, you know how the typical worm character? Giant glowworms. Could be a lot of fun. Maybe there could be a spooky forest with spiders that make you dizzy. I just sort of talked about that. What about an Atlantis-like place made of rocks and such so that it's underwater but still underground? Made of rocks and such so it's underwater but still underground. Oh, there's not a swimming. I'm not going to have a swimming thing, so it wouldn't be able to underground. We could have underground, like an underground ghost town. Interesting. That could be interesting. There are a lot of glowing mushrooms that are minions of the giant glowworms. They could work together. Rainy caves? How does it rain in caves? So this is quite a leap, but I think a cool way to make your world feel alive would be wars between factions, and you could join us. See, that I'm not getting into anything complicated with this. That would be probably great in Zone of Curse Streamer, and I've thought about some stuff like that. But this is a quick 6-hour game, and I've got like 90 days to at least get the demo. I would like to make the game in 90 days. So we're not doing anything complicated like that here. So this is very much like, this is not an RPG in the same sense that Zone of Curse Streamer will be. This is a different game, by the way, if you're new. This is not for Zone of Curse Streamer. This is, it's going to take place in the world, but this is a quicker game that I'm making. In the meantime, the faction system had mobs attacking themselves. Yeah, that was the main point of that. Yeah, that was, yeah. But I was thinking of expanding it into, like, factions that you can join, but it's not something I ever got into. But that wasn't the main purpose of it. The main purpose of it was to tell who they can attack. Bring that head back a bit. Wait, it's not? What are we talking about? Not what? Rain in the caves could be a sign that things are off because of magic. Foggy cave sounds interesting, but rain in caves doesn't, like, we still want the player to understand. If we can find a reason for it to rain without the player being like, this is random, then that would be cool. But a foggy cave sounds interesting. I'm going to make a note of a rainy cave. But the rain needs to be explained. We could just have the player be like, how is it raining in here? And just make a nod to it so that the player knows that we're not just being completely random here. The cave could be under a draining lake. Oh, the cave could be under a lake. Good idea. That's something that could make sense. I like it. I thought this was Zone of Curse Streamer. Oh, no. Check the description. I'm doing a 90-day game jam right now. And that's what this is. You can have an infinite cave where it loops you back to, and you have to figure it out. That's something I thought about. Was I could, because I think I want to build this world by hand, but I have thought about, like, you could imagine the Lost Woods or whatever in the first Zelda, to where it's a bit random. Instead of doing it that way, though, I think we could have some procedural generation for that area, maybe. Could be interesting. I'm gonna make a note for that. Procedurally generated area. Could be interesting. How about a forest that always has rain and thunder, and that forest is electric streams can electrify you? We're pushing it with the rain because it really doesn't make much sense. Thunder especially doesn't make sense. Now there is, in Zone of Cursed Dreamer, there is an enemy concept that I have of a lightning rod enemy that absorbs lightning. And so the idea with the enemy is that you would avoid using lightning on it, but you could encounter it during thunderstorms, which would be dangerous. Because the lightning attack is very powerful. So that's something we could bring into here, but we'd have to have the lightning would have to make sense. And I really don't see the lightning making sense in a way that it's not just too weird. Like, I'm fine with going off the rails a little bit, but I don't want to get too crazy with it. Things have to still make sense. The looping caves could tie into a puzzle, and you have to pick the right path. Oh, well. Something I'm thinking about is, imagine the caves do change their orientation as you progress through them. And it would be possible to get through it, but more difficult. I don't know exactly how. So maybe speedrunners could use this. But we would want to do it in such a way that it could be reliable. But the main expected way to use to defeat that area would be to solve something else somewhere else. Interesting idea. I'm going to make a note for it. I don't know that we'd use it. That's an interesting concept. So, boo speedrunners. I imagine we'll get a few though. It's not something I'm actively developing for, but it is like an interesting idea. Especially, well, it depends. We'd probably have to seed some things, like, because I do want to do those random power ups or whatever, and that could make things difficult for speedrunners. But if I do a seed, then maybe not. But it is not something. It's not something I'm gonna concern myself with too much. But it is something I do want to consider, because I think Hollow Knight got speedrunners. More like speed goners. There you go. All right. I think we're gonna give this guy a cape as well. Capes always make it a little difficult for the silhouette. Okay. The arm's a bit weird, of course. You can make a poison ivy mini boss that you get an item to use afterwards. What would the item do? That you get an item to use afterwards. I mean, an item after the boss. It's one of the things I'm thinking about is like, once you beat a boss, you could get an item that affects your gameplay but may not affect your progress. Maybe. Or we could do mini bosses like that. Like mini bosses, you get like a bonus buff item or an item that changes your abilities. And then main bosses get you an item that progresses you. I wonder if that would be confusing, though. Probably would be confusing a little bit. Whip to bring in enemies. I don't think so. The item could be used against another boss and or access to a zone. Yeah, we could do that. That's already planned. I think we're going to do stuff like that. What I'm thinking of is maybe combining sort of Zelda-style exploration, like the dungeon stuff, into a big Metroidvania-esque dungeon, is my current thinking. I don't know that it doesn't have to be item-based. Like, you don't have to have items to solve the puzzles. It could be like you change the environment in different ways. Looking through the distance and like half off for mushrooms. The reason that is because mushrooms are going to be a very important part of this game. They're going to be like the skellies in Zone of Curse Dreamer. So that's why everyone is suggesting mushrooms. Because it's going to be featured heavily. Because this game is going to, more than likely, this game is going to be about the origin of magic in Zone of Curse Dreamer, which is the whole mushrooms and the crystals and stuff like that. Mushrooms got mentioned early, so that stuck. Yeah, so it's also important. I think this guy could be interesting. I like the big brutish feel to him. I'm gonna bring off some of that. I really like the bulkiness of him. Okay, I'm gonna take down that. Okay, so I'm just gonna use the colors I have here. We can always worry about different colors later. So yeah, so his shoulder will be here. That's his mushroom shield. It's going to be on his back. I'm going to just sit here and watch and occasionally bring an idea that may or not be useful. There you go. That's the point. That's what everybody's doing. We're just chilling out and designing a game. Y'all give ideas and I'll decide if I think they're good or not, and then we'll draw some stuff. Pretty good way to work. I like it. I think it's just like we're all chilling out, thinking of cool stuff. Try to use it. I think that shoulder's might be a bit too forward. Okay. He ain't adding pets. No, not for this game. If you want to make a pet suggestion for Zone of Curse Streamer, I'm not going to stop to take them now, but you could drop it into the Discord, and I can add for stuff for that. But this is, if you're not aware, check the description. I'm working on a little mini jam right now. Well, not a mini jam, big jam, but still. I was looking around for my Nintendo Switch to later realize I was literally sitting on it. Well, there you go. Alright, and cape-wise, I think we're going to give him a red cape. Reddish. I'm not going to get too bottled down colors right now. We'll probably have that come over the arm a bit. I need to look at my knights that I got here. What do I want to do that wise? I think this could be cool. As for the helmet, is there something cool we can give him helmet-wise that fits the whole mushroom thing? Sweet, a Discord, yes. Quite active on the Discord. How long have you been doing game art? Because I just started and it's so hard. It is hard. It is very hard. I have been doing art, pixel art, for about 2 years, I think. Is that right? But I have been doing, like, persistently. Most of the time I'm programming. But I think I've been drawing for about 2 years now for pixel art wise. I've been sketching for like most of my life, but I haven't really like I didn't go about it the right way, so I'm not really good at it. I drew some fan art actually recently of Tim Russwick's game. I did Giggles the Clown or whatever, which I thought was cool. But I'm not a great sketcher. Something I'm working on though, which by the way, his game's on Kickstarter. For those that want to check it out. Not it's a card game, so it's a physical game. It looks very cool though. If anybody wants to look at that. I like the skull idea, mask idea better. We'll have to be careful with skellies, because skellies are not a big thing in this game. T-shaped grill looks like that. Looks like a mushroom. Going to leave this on background because I'm refreshing a lot of the analytics page on my game. There you go. How's it looking, skull? There could be a cursed house in the mushroom spider forest that has an infinite one-way hallway that is generated in one direction, but a set amount in the other, so you could go on forever. Maybe. I don't want to get too down with procedural generation though. That could take a while. What's your game's main story idea right now? So 16 views in about 15 minutes. Look at you. This is going to take place 20 years prior to Zona Cursed Dreamer. It's going to talk about, well, not talk about. It's going to be about the origin of magic, probably. So like you'll start out in a regular world, no magic or anything, and as you progress through the game, magic starts to form and become a thing. Howdy, hero. Welcome to the stream, bud. I'm doing bloxels in my computer class, and it's really hard for a programmer like me. I don't know what bloxels are. Is that like code blocks or something? I'm not sure. Let's see. But I do like the idea of the Skull Knight. I want to save that for Zona Cursed Dreamer. Which I said I wasn't going to take, but... I don't want to forget that, because I think that could be a nice, interesting idea. Oh, there's so many cards. There we go. Let's see. Skull Knight. Okay. A T-mushroom shaped visor is the best idea so far. A T-mushroom. That doesn't make sense. Is there a T-mushroom that I'm not aware of? My story is a nice story, but I don't think I can make it so fast, so I'm going to have to work like hell. There you go. I don't understand the T-shaped mushroom thing. Stop saying my name so much. Shaking my head. Stop having a generic name. Shaking my head. Just a question, have you ever had artists draw your tiny things to help with the designs? What do you mean? Like, have I ever had artists do like concept art for me? No. I mean, some people have done concept art. And then shown it to me. But it's not something I've ever asked for. Summers. Generic. Well, I mean, let's see. I think we're going to skip the helmet for now until I figure that one out. The armor-wise, we're going to do some. I don't know what we want to do. Hmm. I, I've never never had to draw a knight before, so this will be interesting. I used to draw knight helmets a lot when I was a kid, but that's a different thing. Let's see. I'm thinking. Let's look at these different armors. They have this sort of jest-looking thing, which we could do. Are you joining any game jams while yours is on? Not currently, but I am thinking about it. Like, the GMTK jam is coming up at some point, and I could do that. I wouldn't do anything too big, because I don't have a lot of time. If I end up only making a demo, if I end up figuring out that I'm only going to do a demo, then maybe we could think about that. But I don't want to give up on that just yet. But also, with this tying into Zone of Curse Trimmer, I also don't want to rush it too much. There's a lot of things I'm considering right now. But yeah, if I can find time, I would like to do the GMTK gem. I'm not too keen on 2-day gems. I found they're too hectic for my taste. You don't end up making something great in the end. If you work solo, maybe I don't work solo. Maybe I'll team up for the GMTK gem. It can be interesting. I've joined like 7 jams. There you go. I don't know how I've done. I think I've done about 14. I have to check. As men, I went to like and clicked on dislike on accident, and it told me my feedback shared with the creator. So if something pops up, no, they don't tell me when someone dislikes. Don't worry. Do you team up? I might just do a team up hero. I might just do it. I would like to make something good, and I can never make anything good in a 2-day gem if I'm doing everything. So I might just team up. By the way, I've joined 7 gems right now. Oh, in total right now. Good luck with that. That's interesting, I reckon. This is going to look terrible. I don't know why I'd agreed to draw a knight on stream. This is going to look terrible. I'm more not great with this kind of thing. But I agreed to do it, so we're going to suffer. This is a terrible idea, though. Yeah, we'll see. Could be interesting. Oh, don't overwork yourself, jeez. That depends. If you're making one game, are you making 7 different games? And how long are the gems? Because, like, Decade Gem don't count. It don't count. But if you're just making one gem for a bunch of them, then it's not that much more work, I don't think. Oh, I want to do... You know what? I'm going to pull up. Yeah, school's goodbye, I guess. Goodbye. Mushrooms that go boom. We're going to have some that do an AoE spore damage type thing. A knight isn't tricky. A knight is easy to make as long as you know the metal look and the lighting. Yeah. I'm not worried too much with colors right now. I'm just worried about shapes, but yeah, we'll have to worry about that. This is a mushroom knight. So the so like that shield on his back is a mushroom cap, and he's probably going to have like a mushroom sword, spear, or lance or something. Don't know how I would do it. Would they make a mushroom cloud? Yeah, probably. Not that kind of mushroom cloud, though, no. Should have more mushroom personality. Yeah, it doesn't look like much of a mushroom right now, which is what I'm trying to figure out. in what regard I want to do it. Something I'm going to have to figure out a lot of mushroom stuff making this game, because mushrooms is going to be a big thing. So we're probably going to have to figure out a lot of mushroom themed things. Stupid. I tried though. Oh, I tried. The chest plate is a sort of mushroom shaped, so that's something. I'm starting to feel bad now. I'm aware it don't look like a mushroom thing right now. We'll figure it out. Oh, I need to figure something out. Like I said, this is a terrible idea, but we'll figure it out. I suppose the helmet would be a quick, easy way to figure this out. If we do something cool with the helmet, pull this away. The guy looks funny. He looks like a fun guy. No, hero, I'm gonna ban you for that. What if you had his white spots on the cape? I could do. Oh, that's a good idea. Especially since I want to bring the cape more up this way. I think I want to pull back on this a little bit. Try giving a more triangular silhouette to the cap and the shield. Could have like something more like that. I didn't follow. What is the purpose of the shield on its back? When it's in combat, it's going to pull the shield out. It's going to use it. It's going to be a mushroom shield. So it's a knight that has mushroom themed stuff, basically. And we're trying to do the mushroom themed stuff, but easier said than done. Instead of taking the shield off his back, he should take it from his head. Yes. Okay. That's a good idea. Okay. Now we have to figure out what kind of shield we want. I'm going to put this on another layer, just in case we messed it up. Because I don't want it to look too much like a hat. Like a silly hat. I don't want it to be a silly looking character. I want it to be like very threatening and intimidating. Because it looks like a sombrero. There ain't mushroom for the both of us in this chat. That was actually pretty good. Maybe he eats mushrooms and goes into rage mode. Maybe. I think one of the reasons I don't like this hat is because it's tipped up. What if we tip it down? It kind of looks like Napoleon. Hey, the joke worked. There you go. Maybe you should add a little mushroom as a feather to make the hat look more like those musketeer hats. Let me pull up a musketeer. That could be an interesting way we go with it. That would be more silly than not. I really want this guy to be like a brutish, hulking guy. But a musketeer hat could be a funny thing. Yeah, I'll do no Pinterest. This guy should have a little mushroom friend. You have to go for afterwards. What would be the what's the deal with the mushroom friend? It has to fit in with the character. Musketeer. Musketeer. What I'm going to do is I'm going to draw the hat so we can think about it. But I don't think we're going to use it for this character. But let me get a look at that hat. Because I think it's a funny idea. So it's something like... That'll be difficult to do, a little tricky. Could you imagine? This guy's not a mushroom guy. He just really likes mushrooms. Yeah, we might just switch on this and do the night another time. Cause I kind of like the idea now of just a guy that's like into mushrooms. That's actually pretty good. I like that. A bowler hat mushroom would be funny for a different character. Bowler hat. I don't see how that would... Or it could be an upside down. No, I don't think that would work out well. Looking up Japanese warrior hats, helmets. That was we'll see how we would fit with that. I think I know what you're talking about. That one actually does look like a mushroom. This one right here actually does look like a mushroom. Let's see. I like this mushroom. Musketeer? No, terrible. Don't do that. I tried though. Howdy, Davis. Welcome to the stream. I'm assuming you're watching one of the most recent MHA episodes. Quite some amount of mushrooms here. No, mushroom. I've been doing mushrooms for a long time. Zonica streamer even had a mushroom thing. That's what the whole cave system is about. Because we did mushrooms for that long time ago. We had other mushrooms as well. I've been doing it for months and months, several months, probably about half a year, if not longer. The Three Musketeers would be a nice boss battle. Would be interesting. We'll have to see. Oh, I'm gonna... I need to make a card for bosses as well. Three Musketeers. Mushroom Knight. No. So stupid. Now, one of the things I'm noticing is this guy has a cape on his left shoulder. So let's duplicate this. Like that. It sounds so good. What sounds good? Okay. So with this guy, I'll get rid of the cape on this side. I'm gonna have the cape here. It's a silly looking cape. Sort of goes like this. And then there's no shoulder bit here. And then as for armor wise, we don't need armor. It's gonna be like a leather jacket. I need to look into it. I don't even know what musketeers are, like the time period and what they're all about. I think what fencing is their thing. Alright, now we got a bit of like a leather jacket or something. So stupid. Oh man. Alright. And then this is more like a... Okay. Jeez. It's a very big head. Howdy, howdy. Gotta go have a good day, everyone. See you in the Discord tomorrow. See you in the Discord, Dan. Thanks for popping by, bud. What if there was a healer ally or a guy that was a shopkeeper that sold mushrooms to? We're not going to have NPCs that help the character. Everything's going to be an enemy for this right here. Too much complexity having to worry about all that AI stuff, especially with the traps and stuff that I want to do. This guy's silly. I clearly need to brush up my character drawing skills. This is rough. So, you could balance out the big lumpy head with a big mustache. Ah, that's a great idea. That's a cool idea. Just give him a big fancy mustache. What kind of mustache do these people have? And a soul patch, of course. Or they're mostly goatees. Looks like, yeah, okay. Like, he's beautiful. He's something, alright. Let's see. Let's get like a little shoulder pad thing here. Try to trim off some of that noggin. Okay. I'll deal with all the other stuff later. Maybe some killer sideburns, of course. Gotta make sure it doesn't blend in with the beard, though, or the goatee. Need a lot of work, but I like where it's going, but it's gonna need a lot of work. I need to redo that whole silhouette. He looks so bulky and the silhouette is boring, but at least we got the idea. I think it could be an interesting guy, though. What are we making? I'm just about to wrap up. We're really just planning out some ideas and stuff, and we're making a musketeer, which is a guy with a mushroom hat, and he's I don't know. It seems a little silly. We might make it a mushroom guy later. We'll have to see. Oh, but yeah. that's that. We tried to do a mushroom knight, but that didn't work out so well. I'll have to do that later as well. I need to brush up my character drawing skills though, because I need it. But yeah, that silhouette looks garbage. I'll have to figure it out. But for now, I'm going to call it for here. Thank y'all for popping by the stream. I hope y'all have a good day.